What a cool story there. Hey, as the captain and leader of your household, you have to communicate with your little cadets, and here were some tips on making your very own family command center. Blogger and DIY extraordinaire Charlotte Smith, welcome here to the show.
Hello.
You are the commander-in-chief.
I say that. That's not the reality.
Okay. Actually, your kids are probably in control, but we're slowly working towards that to be a little bit more organized for all the parents out there that are watching.
That's right. A girl can dream.
Here today. So hey, let's talk about Cybervanity. Okay. So that's your website. That's your brand. A lot of people say to you, "What is that?" It's kind of a confusing name.
It's a very confusing name. It stands for City Suburb Sanity.
Okay.
And when we left New York City, and I was sort of sitting in my living room going, "Oh my God, what am I going to end?"
Yeah.
All the other URLs were taken. So I thought, I'll be cute. This will be a little hybrid. And then fast forward, I'm still doing this thing, and I'm explaining the name, and
right here on CT Style. Yeah. You know you've made it when. So today we're talking about command centers. What would my position be here? Would I be the colonel of the command center, or the cadet?
Yeah. I like a cadet.
The rookie? Yeah, okay.
No, I think a cadet suits you, buzzing around.
I'll be your little cadet today.
Terrific.
That sounds so nice.
Terrific.
So first, let's talk about what a command center is for the family.
I mean, it's a fancy word for just a wall that you might use somewhere in your house to just store all that stuff that ends up scattered. So our command center, it has some pockets for papers and notes from school.
And then we see a photo right there.
So we have a calendar. I usually have a place to store my pens up out of the reach of the children. So it's going to be personal to your family, but for us, those are the things that come in. Notes from school, we need to make sense of them.
Sometimes staying organized can be very expensive, and you have some tips here, things that we can do at home, simple DIY tricks to save some
If you go into the storage section of a store, everything is like $20.99, and it adds up because you have a whole wall of it. So don't be limited to the storage section. I love having a tray somewhere in our kitchen. It just corrals the stuff. It doesn't end up looking all that pretty, but trays. This is something sort of fun that I found at a flea market. This is what white cheese, American cheese used to come in. So I actually have this in our current command center. I have this drilled into the wall, and I store all my pens in it. And then the last one that they showed, this is just a mason jar with a pipe clamp, and then that just hooks on a regular old picture frame hook. So again, these are, what is a mason jar? $1.50. This was a couple bucks. This I found at Goodwill. This would be a great way to store, spare change, paper clips, you name it. So
some great creative ideas there.
Yeah, don't be limited to the storage section because it can get expensive.
Another thing, calendars, things to stay organized, but again, sometimes expensive, or they don't really look all that nice, but this is a cool little solution. Yeah,
so these are whiteboards that I made. I went to the thrift store. Each of these frames were, I think, $2 or $3. I put some washi tape, which is just, it's fancy, colorful masking tape.
Scotch tape that you got at the store, right?
Yeah,
cheap.
It's cheap. So I put that on the frame to make it look a little more interesting. Cool. And then the only trick is you just want to make sure it's glass. You don't want acrylic or plexiglass, and then this will work just like any old whiteboard, and you can customize it. Here, you can tag that.
If you don't mind, okay, just because, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Master-in-Chief.
Yep.
Okay, so to-do list.
Yep. And then what's nice about these is you can also, like I said, you can customize it. So you could print something out on your computer that maybe is a to-do list for the kids. So that could be something that's under glass.
See, I'm going to put this at my desk so I'm reminded on a daily basis.
Perfect. You can take that home with you.
Phil Teresa's coffee. Those are my basic chores on a daily basis. Moving on, this is really what the command center is here in these boards. Can you tell us how to make some of these? Because it's cool how you put
I pulled this down from our command center. This is just a plain old cork board. And one of the things that I find about cork boards is that they're sort of dull, right? And if we can jazz and glam things up, then let's do it.
It's all about jazzing and glamming.
I mean, that's life. So here, you're going to help. Let's put a dab of hot glue in each corner of this.
Okay.
And if I had spray adhesive, you could go ahead and do that too.
Look at my dad.
Look at you.
There it is.
Born to be crafty, I'm telling you. So then don't burn your little fingies here.
Thank you.
So we're going to put that over.
All right. Just pinch the corners?
Yep, you just want to make sure that the fabric is nice and tight. Pinch the corners. And then these are just from the dollar store.
Okay.
These are just gold thumbtacks.
Little tacks.
And this is one of those projects that are good when you're watching like Housewives at night or something.
Well, that's what I do on a daily basis.
I figured.
Charlotte.
So when you're watching Bravo or Vanderpump Rules or something, you can just hang out.
When I'm not watching CT Style reruns, I mean, that is what I do.
On YouTube, you can catch us here.
All right.
So then you just put these, and you can do all the way around like I did, or you could do some patterns.
Or you can spread them out like I did.
You could spread them out.
We all have a little style, but that's part of the fun is you get to be creative and you can do it with the kids. So make sure you guys check her out online, Sibberbanity. Again, Charlotte Smith, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Looks terrific.
On CT Style. Hey, I have to go fill up Teresa's coffee, but I think
Good.
she's in the kitchen with a great recipe. Teresa?
We